Have you noticed that the US dollar has been weakening lately? Maybe you've seen it reflected in the exchange rate during your recent travels or in the news headlines. But what's causing this downward trend, and what impact could it have on the global economy? In this video, we'll explore the possible reasons behind the fall of the US dollar, and what it could mean for you, your investments, and the world as a whole. So buckle up and get ready to dive into the complex world of currency markets. Let's start. Have you ever played the game of supply and demand? Well, when it comes to currency markets, the same principles apply. The US dollar's value is based on how much people want it. Think of it like a hot new item on the market. When it first comes out, everyone wants it, and the price is high. But as time goes on, more products hit the shelves, and the demand starts to drop. The same thing happens in the currency market. If investors and traders start losing interest in the US dollar and turning to other currencies, the value of the dollar can drop. But why would people suddenly lose interest in the US dollar, and what does this mean for you? Imagine you're a business owner and your company is struggling. Your sales are low, you have high debt, and your growth is stagnant. It's not looking good for your business, and the same can be said for a country's economy. When a country is experiencing slow economic growth, high levels of debt, and inflation, it can impact the value of its currency, including the US dollar. The US dollar is one of the world's reserve currencies, which means it's used in international trade and financial transactions. So, if the US economy is not doing well, it can have a ripple effect on the global economy, causing investors to lose confidence in the US dollar and leading to a decrease in its value. But how does this impact you, and what can you do to protect your investments? Have you ever heard the saying, cash is king? Well, that's because currency is the lifeblood of the economy. And when the economy isn't doing so well, the value of the currency can take a hit. Take the US dollar, for example. When the US economy is struggling, it can cause the value of the dollar to fall. But why does this happen, and what are the consequences? Imagine if you were planning to take a trip overseas, and suddenly the value of the US dollar drops. That means you'll have less purchasing power, and may have to spend more money on your trip than you initially budgeted for. But it's not just travelers who are affected. Investors, businesses, and even entire countries can feel the impact of a weakening currency. So, what can be done to prevent this? And how can you protect yourself from the fallout? Have you ever been in a situation where you had to borrow money from someone and struggled to pay it back? Well, countries can face the same challenge. When a country has a high level of debt, it can cause investors to lose confidence in the country's ability to pay it back. This loss of confidence can lead to a decrease in the value of the country's currency, including the US dollar. The US government has a debt of over $28 trillion, which is a staggering amount of money. This level of debt can impact the global economy and the value of the US dollar. But how does this impact you, and what can be done to address the issue? Have you ever been in debt? It's not a fun place to be. But imagine if you were a country and your debt was in the trillions of dollars. That's the situation the US government is in right now. When a country has a high level of debt, it can cause investors to lose confidence in the country's financial stability, leading to a decrease in the value of the country's currency, including the US dollar. This can impact everything from international trade to the value of your investments. But what's causing the US government's debt to skyrocket, and what can be done to address the issue? Have you ever heard the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket? Well, the same advice applies to currency investments. When investors put all their money into one currency, it can be risky if that currency's value suddenly drops. That's why many investors diversify their portfolios and spread their investments across multiple currencies. But what happens when the US dollar loses its status as a dominant currency? For decades, the US dollar has been the world's reserve currency, but that could be changing. As other countries like China and Russia gain economic power, they're pushing for their own currencies to become more widely used in international trade and financial transactions. If this shift happens, it could impact the demand for the US dollar and lead to a decrease in its value. But what does this mean for you and your investments? Have you ever played a game of Jenga? You know, the one where you carefully remove blocks from a tower without it collapsing. Investing in currency can feel like that sometimes. When one currency's value drops, it can impact the value of other currencies in your portfolio. And with the US dollar being one of the world's dominant currencies, its value can have a ripple effect on other currencies. But what happens when the US dollar's dominance is threatened? As other countries like China and Russia rise in economic power, they're challenging the US dollar's status as the world's reserve currency. This shift could impact the value of the US dollar and the global economy. So, what should you do to protect your investments and navigate the changing landscape of the currency market? Join me as we explore the exciting, and sometimes precarious, world of global currency. And there you have it. We've taken a deep dive into the reasons behind the fall of the US dollar's value. From the impact of government policies to the shifting global currency market, there are many factors at play. But understanding these factors is crucial if you want to protect your investments and thrive in this ever-changing financial landscape. I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.